We are joined by Professor Laura Freberg, who is at California Polytechnic State University. She is with the Department of Psychology.
I've been teaching asynchronously and online since the beginning of COVID. I'm actually going to set foot in a classroom for the first time since the beginning of COVID in January, so that'll be kind of fun. So I run approximately 200 plus or minus students every quarter, and I make them write 4 times. So you can do the math. That's a lot of grading. And so really having the peer review has been extremely beneficial for everybody, I think. Whether you do a Kritik type of platform or any kind of peer graded assignment, so much is avoided if you set up the students and prepare the students appropriately for the activity. I have not run into instances of what I would consider biased or inappropriate grading. The students are very kind. They make like journal reviewers, look really nice. I mean, the journal reviewers aren't as nice as my students, is what I was trying to say. That being said, Kritik has a built-in flag. So in the event that the student does feel slandered, they simply flag it for my attention, and I go in and determine whether or not it's an appropriate complaint. But I think it does give the students a comfort. What's nice about the assignments is usually with my numbers, each student gets about 5 to 6 peers to evaluate each of their papers, and obviously that's randomized. So by the time you're done, you've had maybe 20, 25, 30 people look at your work. And so you do get that range. Usually if you're just grading papers, it's between me and the student, right? So they get my perspective. And this way they get, a very broad range of perspectives. A lot of our students, especially in the asynchronous online, they don't even know there are other people there, right? Mm-hmm. And so this way, even though they're anonymized, they do kind of feel like they're part of a learning community, I think, which is difficult sometimes to generate in an asynchronous online course, and even better, I think, in a face-to-face course. So I really am very pleased with the improved engagement, and that shows up in my student evaluations as well. I'm a big fan of building soft skills, and this is something that I honestly, to be honest, for most of my career, honestly didn't worry about. It's like, I love neuroscience, I love psychology, so like, here you go. I think this is cool, you should too. And more recently, I'm thinking, what exactly will most of my students need in the workforce? We're in a basic science area. And so I think the idea that they have to receive feedback, and one of the nice things about Kritik, and I'm sure you'll demonstrate this, Preeti, is their ability to evaluate the evaluators. So not only are they providing feedback to their peers, but they get feedback from those peers saying this was helpful, or if somebody says good job, I've gotten reviews like that, and it's like, well, why did you bother? And so they're able to communicate that, and the calibration activity too allows them to compare their grading to mine, even though I'm not grading most of the assignments, and so they can kind of learn how to become good evaluators. And I'm hoping that does carry over. Everybody has to either be evaluated or evaluate, or both, down the road, and practice is important on that. So I'm very excited about that concept. So with the feedback that we do with Kritik, you can do that kind of at your own pace, and I find that's very comfortable for a lot of students. And the great thing about peer review, I think, is that without it, even the brighter students really might think that they're at the bottom of the class. They don't really understand what their peers, the quality of their peers' work. And so if you have them look over their peers' work, they either figure out, gosh, I got to step up, or wow, maybe I'm doing pretty good after all. And I like that aspect too.